Good morning. My name is Alicia, and I'm going to be giving the webinar today. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to see how to work with the contract in ReiFax, how to upload them, how to pull the ones that are in the system. Remember that ReiFax, as per se, does not provide documents. However, if you're a BRIA or a DRIA mentor student, those associations do provide contracts for you. So I'll be showing how to get to the contracts that DRIA and BRIA provides for you. Also, I will show you how to upload your contracts if you're not a mentor student, and the additional documents, how to set up everything. Remember that if you have a question at any moment during the webinar, please go ahead and type in your questions in the chat or question and answer section, and I'll try to answer them as we go along. So let's get started. This is a control panel in ReiFax. Where do I see my contracts? To see what I have as contracts, I have to go to settings. Here on the left side where I have my icons, the second from last is settings. I click there. That will show me first of all this tab where I have the assistant counts, and I have to click up here on documents. If you just logged into your account for the first time, there will be nothing here, no matter what type of account you have. Even if you're a mentor student, you will not see anything here. That doesn't mean that there is nothing to show. Let me explain that. I'm going to go through, first of all, to show the ones of you that have contracts provided by DRIA or BRIA, and then I'll show you how to upload a contract and set it up. Okay, so if you're a DRIA or mentor student, the first time you come into your account, if you come here into documents, you won't see anything here. It will be blank. However, as I said, that doesn't mean that the contracts are not there. If you click here and copy document, you will see all the contracts available for you. If you are a BRIA mentor student, you'll have these 4 contracts: BRIA foreclosure, pre-foreclosure with equity, BRIA REO contract, BRIA REO Fannie Mae contract, BRIA short sale contracts. As you are able to see, you can upload more than one contract. Actually, all of these base contracts are the FAR bar as is contract. That's the most used contract here in Florida. However, in this case, each one is set up that is filled in a little bit different depending on what type of negotiation you're doing in any particular time. So by the name of the contract, you will see and know which contract you're going to use at any given negotiation. Then if you're a DRIA mentor student, you'll have 7 contracts. That's MP Homeowner DRIA. The MP stands for Mentor Program. The MP Investor as Seller, MP REO, MP REO Fannie Mae, MP Seller Direct No Agent, and MP Sale DRIA, and last of all, MP Vacant Land. The contracts, as I say, these contracts are already filled out, so you don't actually need to do anything right here unless you want to make a modification in it. As I said, they are already pre-filled. They have the additional terms. They have everything in place. So all you have to do is go to your follow-up, select one of them, and send it. I'll go to that when we finish here. But if you need to do a change in one of them, this preset contracts will not allow you to make any change, any addition on them. If you want to make an addition of them, then you have to make a copy. That's why this is here. So let's say I want to use the homeowner, but I want to add some additional terms on it. I will click on copy. That will make a copy just of the contract that is set up by DREA for me and place it here outside. And that copy, then I can go into that copy and edit it. The document has been copied, so now I have it here. And then I can go into that contract, click on edit, and make any small change that I want to do. I suppose you could go to page 11 and change the additional terms. So if you need to make changes in one of the contracts, go ahead and copy them. Remember that you will not see them here unless you go here and make a copy of it. The copy is only if you need to edit the contract. The contract is already filled in. Unless you need to make changes in it, you don't really need to make a copy of it. Okay, so that is for those of you that do have a mentorship program with DREA and BREA. What happens if you come into ReiFax and there is nothing here? You will not see anything here. And if you come here into the copy section, there won't be anything there for you. Unfortunately, as I said, ReiFax does not provide documents. You would have to get a PDF file of a blank contract. As I said before, the most used here in Florida is the FAR bar as is. So once you get a copy of that, it has to be a PDF file. All documents that you upload into ReiFax have to be PDF files. The contracts as well as the proof of funds, if you need to upload a proof of funds, the addendums like the lead-based paint disclosure, the short sale addendum, and any type of document that you want to upload have to be in a PDF file. Okay, so how do I add my document if I don't have anything here? I click here and add, and that will take me to the files in my computer. Once I'm in the files of my computer, I look for the document that I want to upload. As is. The system will ask me if I'm allowed to use that contract. Remember, I say agree, and the system will upload the contract. We have to wait for it to bring it into the system. And here it is. Sometimes it takes a little bit, just a little patience. However, if you see that you have any problems doing this, just go ahead and call us. You can also open a live chat, clicking the blue bubble on the bottom left corner of your account, and we can help you. Also, you can schedule a coaching with us. We are available for coaching from 9 in the morning till 6 in the afternoon from Monday through Friday. And we'll be happy to help you get this started. It's taking a bit long. Okay. Okay. For some reason, that little house still going round and round there, but let's start working with it. I just clicked on it and it opened this window. Here's where I will start putting the information that I want to use for the system to fill out my contract. First of all, I have to put my name is as a buyer here, my name and address as a buyer. If you buy under your own name, just go ahead and type in your name. If you buy under the company's name, here's where you would put it. Let's put my name there. And then you have address line 1. Let's put you can use all 3 lines or you can use only 2. As you see here, you have buyer and seller. You can put 2 sets of information and have active one of them. You can use the same name as a buyer or put another name as a seller and just make sure you activate the one that you're going to use at the moment. Down here is the additional document. Also, this information will be used by the system to fill out your contract. You put in here acceptance days. Let's put 5. And closing days, let's put 15. I'm not a realtor, so I'm just putting numbers here. So don't take this as a must be number. Inspection days, I'll put 15 also. And these are the numbers. These are the numbers that the system will use to fill in the contract for acceptance days, closing days, and inspection days. If I keep scrolling down, I see here the area to add additional documents. Each contract, you can upload several contracts if you want and set them up differently, just as the associations do. As you saw before, that we have one for homeowners, one for investor or seller. If you upload several contracts, each contract must have its own set of additional documents. Even if the proof of funds is the same one for all of them, you would have to upload them separately for each one, because these additional documents here will be the ones used by this particular contract. So if you have another contract, you would have to add its own additional documents. How do I do that? I just click here and add. And again, that will take me to the files in my computer. Let's put here the lead-based paint disclosure. Again, it will ask me if I have permission to use that. I click on agree. Again, it takes a little bit to upload documents, so just be patient. There. Now it's down here. What I have to check the little box of what type of document this is. This is the lead-based paint disclosure. This is an addendum. So I'll check the box for additional. The P would be the proof of funds, and the E is the earnest manner deposit. I do need to check this little boxes so that way when I send a contract with the additional documents, the system will know and will be able to detect what documents you send to any particular property. And you would have in the follow-up, check the boxes where that you send to this property, not only the contract, but also send an addendum and send a proof of funds and send an EMD. This first box is to check it if you want this to be by default sent always with your contract. If you do not check it, you just have the option to check it at the moment of sending the contract. So since this is a lead-based paint disclosure, you will most probably want it to go out with all your contracts. So I'll just check it here. And that will guarantee I don't forget to send it with my contracts. Once I have that, I can click on save, sorry. But before I do save this information I typed in here, that's what this will say. It will not save the documents are already there. That's not what I'm going to save. What this says is only the information I typed in, the additional info that's here, and the check boxes here. But first of all, I want to edit the contract I just uploaded. I uploaded a blank PDF. How will the system know where to put the information? That's something that I need to tell the system how to do it. So I click on edit and use variables provided by the system to tell the system where the information will go. This is my blank contract. I need to tell the system that here it has to put the seller's name. So I just click there in that place and come here in the first drop down where I have all the variables available for me to fill in the contract. All the information available in the system is here. They're in alphabetical order. So I just look for this. I need seller's name. So I'll put seller. I'll look for seller name. And this is my variable. I can take it and move it around and put it exactly what I wanted. Then I need buyer. I look for buyer's name. And put it here. Then I need street, address, city, and zip code. These are three separate variables. If I look here, I will see that I have address, well, down here, property, property address, property city, property county, and property zip code. So since there are three different variables, if I put one next to another, since not all addresses are the same length, they could overlap, and I don't want them to overlap. How do I go around that problem? I will not add them separately. I will add them together. I'll click on add text. And the add text option is for me either to type in any text that is not available in the variables or to use mixed text and variables or several variables one next to another. So since I need street address, city, and zip code, I'll look for property address. Property address, put a comma and a space, look for property city. This is a bit of a tedious thing that you have to do, but this is something you only do the first time you upload a contract. After you get this done, the system will be able to use this contract as many times as you want for any property that you send, and each contract will be personalized with the information for each one of your properties. So yes, it's a little bit of homework that you'll have to do the first time, but it will make your life and your job a lot easier afterwards. And last of all, and anyways, after I show you how it works, I'll give you a little tip on how to do it faster. So just hang up there. Okay, so I'm missing now zip. Let's go look for the zip code. Property zip code. There. So I have property address, property city, and property zip code. Once I have it just as I want it, I just click on add and put it in place. So now, even if the address is longer, the city is shorter, they won't overlap because they will just take their necessary space one next to another. What happens if I make a mistake and I don't want there? I just click on it and I'll click on delete up here and that will disappear. Let me show you how to add actual text. In this particular contract, we have in page 11, the additional terms. And throughout the system, the contract we might want to check some boxes. We can also do that. Since we're going to send a lead-based paint addendum with all our contracts, I need to check this little box here. So I can use either a dot, a check mark, or an X. I'm going to use the check mark. Didn't put it exactly what I want to. Remember, you have to click in the place before you select the actual item. So it didn't put it exactly in its place, so I'll move it around a little bit. Okay, so now I have it in its place. Here I have the additional terms. These additional terms is something that you have to type in. So as I said, this add text will be the one that you'll be using for this. Let's say closing agent will be closing agent will be, and as we did before, we can mix variables with text. And let's look for escrow agent and select that and click on add. Again, it moves around and I'll put it here. Okay, there I want to add something else, so I'll click here. There is one little detail you have to be aware of this. You can't type a long test and expect the system to do the returns or divide the lines. It won't do that. You have to fill in line by line. So if it's a long text, type in one part, then go to the next line and type in the next line. Seller agrees. Seller agrees to There you add that. Again, if you make a mistake, you just click here and delete them. One last thing you need to do is put in your signatures in each one of the pages. You have to upload your signatures into the system. The best and easiest way is to go ahead and write in with a Sharpie and a paper and take a picture or scan it, upload that into your computer. It has to be a JPEG file, and then you upload them. I'll show you where to do that. And here you put the initials. And oh, you can put them in place, reduce them. The initials have to be on every page. And then on the last page, you put today's date and your signature. There. So you have to go page by page and check everything and make sure everything is just like you want it. I told you I was going to show you a shortcut, so let's do that. Since, like I said, this far bar as is the most used contract here on most of our clients, we actually have a template for this. So after you upload your blank contract, you can click here and manage templates. And in your case, you will only see this ReiFax General. This is how a basic filled out of one of these contracts. So I select it and click on apply, and that will put this basic template on top all at once. After it does that, I just go ahead and check if everything is just like I wanted. You might have to, if your PDF it's a little bit moved, you might have to go and move around the variables a little bit so they fit exactly where they have to fit. But at least you won't have to go one by one and put them all one by one. Mostly they should be pretty much in place. So as you see, that already filled out everything for me. So I can go from page to page and check if I need to add anything else. Let's see, let's say I want to add something else here. Let's go to the next page. Make sure this one is off. Shouldn't be here, so let's delete it. This one seems to be off too. Maybe the base wasn't exactly like this one, but it's just a help for you. Title, evidence and insurance, at least 5, if left to blank 15. You can leave it that way or edit it or whatever. As I say, this is just a base template for you to work upon it. So as I say, let's go page by page and go ahead and fill in whatever additional thing you need to fill in, change or edit or move around. And once you have it exactly like you want it, you can just, first of all, since you did change things, and this is your new template, you can save that new template to use the next time you bring in a contract. So maybe you want to upload the contract, as I said, and fill it in a little bit different. But so as not to have to go one by one, you can now create a template of your own. You won't be able to overwrite the default ones, the one that ReiFax provides, but you can create your new one. You have all the variables in place just like you wanted, and you click on add new, give it a name. This is my template, and click on OK. So next time you upload the contract, or maybe you deleted it by mistake and oh, I lost all my work. No, you didn't. You just upload your contract again and then come here and manage templates and look for this is my template. Let's see. This is my template. Select it and click on apply. Once you apply it, it will be there and you can make little changes on it. And if those changes you want them to be permanent, you just click on override and it will make the new changes permanent on your template. So next time you use the template, the new changes will be there. Any questions up here? Remember to type in your questions at any moment. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Okay, once you have it just like you want it, you can save it and close it. Actually, if you click on the X and close, it will automatically save everything. So don't worry, if you close, everything will be saved. So I click on the X, make sure all my information here is correct, and click on save. So now I have my contract all set up to start working. Other information I need that this contract will need to have for it to be able to actually have everything in there is your signatures. You have to upload your signatures here in settings, signatures. You can add them. Actually, you can draw them. But if you're in a computer with a mouse, it actually comes out like a little childish. Unless you have an iPad and you can do it with your iPad and they come out pretty, I would actually do recommend you just go ahead and do them on paper, take a picture or scan it and upload it instead of drawing them. You need your first signature and first initial, and you have the option to add 2 more signatures and initials. Once you have that, this is the contracts will be able to fill in your signatures. Another thing you need is your escrow agent information. This is the information of your title company. You can have 2 sets, and at the moment of sending the contract, you can switch from one to another. The default one will be the one that has the star. So here you have to put the name, address, email, phone number, and fax, or any of the information that you have available. If you don't have the fax, just leave it blank and the system will just ignore that information at the moment of filling out the contract. So this information here is what the system will use in the contract to fill in the information of your escrow agent. As I said, you can have 2 different ones and switch from one or another at the moment of sending. So those are the 3 things you need to have set up for your contract. So upload your contracts, or if you're a DREA or mentor student and you need to make changes on the contracts provided for you, you make a copy. If you do not want to make any changes, you can, and you're going to use it just as they are, you don't need to make a copy. Just leave them there, and I'll show you right now where you will see them. Even though here in settings, documents, you won't see anything, at the moment of sending contracts, you will see them all listed there. So if you're not going to make any changes, just leave them as it is. Don't make copies. If you're not a BREA mentor student or DREA mentor student, remember that we don't provide the actual documents. So just go ahead and get a PDF file of a blank contract, your proof of funds, your EMDs, your addendum, slot-based payments addendum, condo addendum, and any other thing that you might need to use. Upload them to each of the contracts. Remember that each additional document, each contract will have its own set of additional documents. Fill in your information as a buyer, fill in the additional information that is acceptance days, closing days, and inspection days. Put in your additional documents down here, check the correct boxes so the system will know what type of document it's sending, and you're set to go. Let's go to follow up and show you when you select the actual document. I'm going to go to my follow up. And wait for it to load. And here, when I select a property and click on send document, even if I do not make a copy and I do not see any of my contracts and settings documents, if I'm a mentor student, if I click here at the moment of sending my contract, the first thing I need to do is to select which contract I'm going to use. So if you have several contracts there, you click on this drop down, and here you will see all the available contracts. As you see, I didn't make a copy of any of them. I didn't see them there in settings, but they're all available here. Also the one, if you're not a BREA or BREA mentor student, the ones that you upload will also be available here. So depending on what type of property this is, you select which contract you're going to send for this particular negotiation. So you just select one. It will put it here, and it will put the additional documents down here. If you want to send the lead-based, oh, let me select one that has several additional documents. Let's put this one. As you see, I have the lead-based paint disclosure pre-checked because I checked it over there in settings. So by default, this will go out with my contract. I have my proof of funds. It's not checked by default. So here is where I decide if I actually want to send it right now or just wait for them to accept my offer and then send it on its own. Same thing with the EMD. As you see, the system has already checked the green boxes here for earnest money deposit, proof of funds, and additional. So once I send it, the system will detect what documents I sent, and in my follow-up, be able to check the little circles here. Once I send it, it will know that I send the contract. It will know if I send a proof of funds, an EMD, and an addendum or an addendum, and check the circles here. So that's what I wanted to show you today. Do we have any questions? Remember that we have a live chat, as I said before, so if you have any questions during your workday, just go ahead and open a live chat and we'll be happy to help you. If you're working after hours, just leave your question there and we'll answer as soon as we come in next morning. Give us a call if you need any help. And remember that you can schedule coachings at any moment during the week. So it seems we don't have any questions. It was a pleasure working with all of you today. I'm happy to have been with you. Wish you all a very happy weekend and see you next week. Have a great weekend.